But could you really get addicted to psychedelics?
No, I
mean,
don't think you can.
Could
I
you?
think you could.
No, you
I
could.
mean, I
I,
don't
I
know.
mean, again,
though.
thing
again,
is,
I
'cause
say
they-
the word think, like
Yeah,
think
but-
really heavy, like
but
like someone can persuade you with information.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think only because like, just because of like life and like Corona and everything we've gone through. Like imagine like your life is really like up and down, but it's very up and down more frequently than you would than other people's, right?
Right.
So in the sense of just saying like, so you want to always stay on a constant up, not saying an up or a drug or an upper, but it's like if you're like, I don't know, like, what I'm trying to say, like it's almost like if it was me and my life was like this, I would as soon as I come down, back on it again.
Yeah, but
Back
then
on
the
it
thing
again.
is,
No, but
like,
that is not the point.
Hang on, let me just say
Yeah.
this real quick. The thing is with psychedelics is that you can't get addicted to them because if you do too much all the time, you sort of build a tolerance for them. So then you always end up going for something else.
Not
And that's-
more of the same psychedelic.
No, well, if you keep doing more of the same psychedelic, then it stops being you're impervious
I-
to it
I
at
don't
one
think
point.
so,
It's
though.
yeah, really. That's why you could like how
But
they
is that
how
a
they
fact though?
like,
Do you know like?
I know for
100%,
sure that like
100%?
there's you can't do it like and be addicted to it because then you gain a tolerance to it and then it stops affecting you the way you want it to. And that's why, have you not heard of like gateway drugs where like people start smoking weed and then they
Yeah.
like the feeling of weed and then they build up to like heroin, because heroin is the drug that will always get you on the same place you want to be. You know what I mean? Like that's why you get addicted to it, because it will always have the same effect. You cannot build a tolerance to it, and in fact, you become dependable in it. Unlike psychedelics, where like, and also it's very difficult to consume them if you're not aware of what you're doing, because if you do too much, then you can have like a bad trip or no trip at all.
But I mean, guys, the thing about psychedelics is it's not about doing too much or do too little. I feel like it's the mindset before you do it. So, for example, if you're prone to be depressed or having a bad day, you probably have a bad trip.
No, but that's the I mean, they do recommend it if you're depressed. Like usually you microdose. when you're depressed.
I'm not stating fact. I'm just like talking out of like the small research I've done and what I've heard, and I've seen so much like, how would I put it, like so much people I've heard about so much people who like had like amazing experiences doing psychedelics, and I feel like that is like something that we have to remove. I feel like, I mean, let me put it like this. Like growing up, you hear drugs, drugs are bad. Drugs are bad. I don't do drugs, don't do drugs. But I feel like psychedelics is a whole new category.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new category. I don't even see it as a drug the way we know drugs. I feel like it's something that it takes you out of your body. You go on a whole new different trip. And this is just me talking from what I've heard from other people, and I'm not talking from personal experience or anything. And that's something that I am thinking about trying it out and see how it is.
Yeah, well, I'll put it like this: like the times I've done like psychedelics, like I've done acid, I've done LSD as well. It depends. Like usually, I would suggest to do it in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
So I've had both parts of like a good trip and a bad trip.
Yeah.
And one bad trip was like, I think it was a Zurich street parade, where like it's hot, firstly, and then if you're dehydrated as well, if you're not drinking a lot of water, that's not good, because you feel bad, you feel physically sick actually. And then there's a lot of people, and there's just so much happening, there's so much noise, there's so much going on. Sometimes it can affect you the wrong way, and you start having like anxiety attacks. For example, I had an anxiety attack when I was on it. Yeah, and I've also done it as well, like with a couple of friends, where like with a mate of mine, and I know he's gonna watch this, like where we did it, and we just like kind of opened up to each other and just like started crying and like talked about like really like vulnerable things. And like, he was like crying in front of me and I started crying as well. And I was like, fuck, like we just opened up this whole new relationship. And especially like as like these macho men, and you put yourself in like that space where like, okay, this is my friend, I'm already like comfortable with him, but we've never been vulnerable around each other, like to talk about the things that like affect us, right?
Yeah.
So we did like acid drops, and we just like started talking, and then it started to hit, and we went into like these like laugh attacks where we were just like constantly laughing at nothing, and then obviously like you kind of see everything is significant and whatever, and then suddenly we opened up and we just started talking about like all the things that have happened in our lives and that things that affected us and all that. So that was like a very beautiful and positive experience, because I was with somebody that I trust for sure.
Wow.
And we put ourselves in like an environment where we were like at the house, we were away from like outside noise and everything, and we could like basically connect with each other. Yeah. So like I said, I told you like next summer we could definitely like just go to the forest, like camp out somewhere and just
I always imagine like you want to do something like that and just be by yourself and just go through your
by yourself. Maybe is a
yeah,
bit,
but I don't know, because I just feel like, because I've seen what was it? I heard about it. Is it DMT? I think it was DMT. And he did a research, and people were like literally saying how they like saw like aliens and stuff, and they like felt like they were talking to aliens and it was real. And the dude was like, "No, this can't be," and they were like, "It was real." Like I feel they could swear that the aliens were there, and they were like having a whole conversation and like in a whole different planet. And apparently, when you do things like that, our brains are always fighting to have a equal of rationality and irrationality.
Yeah.
And always trying to put us in the middle. And when you do psychedelics, it literally opens the floodgate. And your brain just gets flooded with this, and nothing makes sense, or everything makes sense. You can see it. Either nothing makes sense or everything makes sense. Like you open possibilities that you never thought. You see things. You see things. You experience things that is just crazy, and it's like a reset for your brain, basically.
Yeah, I never experienced like those levels of intensity where like you see things.
Yeah, but I think when you, I don't know though. I don't know if acid and LSD is the same as shrooms.
It should be the same. It is the same thing. Yeah.
Or the one in South
It's
America.
the same thing. Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah.
I think that one is really.
I think
cool
that one's
though.
good, and yeah, because these are all natural. So
yeah, exactly.
Natural is always good, and there's also like in the what, I'm forgetting where the mountains are, but there's like these bees, that make honey up in I'm forgetting what country it is. It is an Asian
Somewhere in
country.
Asia.
Yeah, it's a country in Asia. I think I can't remember, but it's up there. So they basically have their hives up on a mountain.
Yeah.
And their honey it has like psychedelic properties in it.
Really?
Yeah. So these guys risk their lives basically just to go up this mountain to harvest this, and they're climbing on like sort of trees that are hanging on the cliff of the mountain.
Yeah.
And they climb up like I don't know, like 250 meters worth of mountain. No, that's too much.
yeah, I'm about to say
That's
20,
too much.
50
Yeah.
God.
But like
damn.
it's a big mountain,
Yeah.
right? But they go up there and just harvest this honey and take it just for the psychedelic properties of it. Yeah. And I asked myself, because that's why like it makes sense that everything is connected in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what gives that a bee makes honey that has psychedelic properties that affect humans? Like, who was the first person that was up on a cliff of a mountain? Because these are not hives that are accessible.
Yeah.
Like, you literally have to risk your life to go up there and find it. So I'm asking myself, like, who was the one human that was maybe rock climbing one day and was like, oh look, there's honey, and then tripped the fuck out. Like,
Morning after podcast.